afternoon, everybody. So this is Saturday, April the 11th. Talking Bollocks, part 16. Yes, I have been doing it for 16 times. Isn't that amazing that I can still talk bollocks after 16 times? I'm wearing a dress today, like a t-shirt-y dress thing, because I got sunburnt yesterday. You can believe just walking to Sainsbury's and I got sunburnt. So I've covered up most of my arms, like top parts of my arms. And I have sat in the garden a little bit today, but not very much. Yeah, so last night after I left you guys, I did guitar practice and I ended up doing it 45 minutes. Maybe that was a bit too long because my fingertips are really sore this morning, which is terrible. And at 7 o'clock, I watched Alex from Wonk Unit do an acoustic set, and it was actually really cool. There was loads of Wonk fam watching, and that was really nice. Sorry, I'm just fidgeting because the cat wants to come up here. Come on then. That was really nice, but it also made me miss gigs really a lot, like loads and loads and loads, and miss all the cuddles I get at gigs and all the things going on. So I think when this is all over, we're going to have to sort of do some sort of something to, I don't even know at what point we're going to sort of, oh yes, Pudding wants to come and join us all. I don't know what point we're all going to be allowed out doing things. So I think there's going to be lots of catching up cuddles, and lots of catching up with people face to face, not just online or on Zoom or house party. But it was great to listen to Alex. He's an amazing performer, and I love the songs. Then I sort of made myself a drink, got comfy, and then did a house party with a couple of friends, which actually was, an hour and a half long, just chatting online. But again, it's not quite the same because you have to wait for that gap in conversation. You can't always tell when that gap is, whereas I think you can tell it better when you're face to face. But yeah, I sort of and I went to bed quite early last night. Sort of about, I was in bed by 11 and going to sleep by 11, which is weird because when I'm doing more, I tend to stay up later, but I've been doing less, so I've gone to bed earlier, which sort of seems a weird way round, but it was just as well because I slept really badly last night, which was funny because after sort of talking to a friend that has been also sleeping sort of badly, I then slept badly, and some of my dreams were quite not nightmarish, but they were disconcerting, and it was very odd to then have a night where I was just sleeping really badly. But I think it goes up and down, the anxiety, and I'm not sure that anxiety is the right word for it. It's like we don't know when this is going to finish. We don't know when we're going to get back to normal life. I don't know when I'm going to be able to go to gigs. And actually, even though the gigs and the live music is really important to me, it's also seeing friends at them and catching up with people and having that whole social thing going on. And so today it was I ended up waking up at sort of 8 o'clock, and I didn't have to be up at 8 o'clock. I'd actually set my alarm for sort of 9:15 because I wanted to get up and get breakfasted and feed the pets before it was meditation time at 10:30. So I tuned into the Croydon Buddhist Centre and did listen to the talk and then the meditation, and then afterwards we're on like a Zoom for a bit to just sort of be put into rooms on Zoom, rooms of 4 to 6 people I think it is, and then just chat and stuff. But this meditation I found really difficult. I was very fidgety, and my mind kept on wandering, and that's kind of how it's been all day actually. And I think, sorry, it's the cat talking to you, isn't it? Let's move this over a bit. So I think there are days when, because we don't know what the end of this is, and we don't know what's going to happen at what stage, and it builds a kind of different feeling that I've not really encountered before, in that you have so much time to do things and so much psychological time to think, oh, I've got loads of time to do that. Whereas a lot of the time I've sort of felt tired and I haven't done very much. But I think it is because my brain is working overtime. I have purposely stopped watching the news and stopped all the time because it was just getting to me, and I don't want to think about it all the time. I do think that when you start watching things where they're constantly talking about death rates and sort of constantly talking about, I do know how many people yesterday passed away because it was shared on Facebook, and it is incredibly sad, and it's also incredibly sad that there's funerals where no one can go, that people can't go to the hospitals, but not discounting any of that or belittling any of that, but people do die. I'm only laughing because the cat is basically, it just looks like the cat's got an arm that's tattooed. But people do die every day, but this is so weird and so unusual and so out of the ordinary that I think my head doesn't know what to do with some of the stuff that's going on, if that makes sense at all. So last night I just had a bad sleep basically, and today I've sorted some stuff out. I put some camping stuff that I've bought in the loft ready to go camping when we're allowed to go camping. I treated myself to a new sleeping bag, but I can't stand those sleeping bags that have the narrow bit at the bit, so mine's a kind of like massive bottom bit now, and it's a 3-season one, so it should be fine for the 2 seasons that I'll go camping. But I hope that everybody is so I got to meditation today, and I found that even though I couldn't concentrate and my mind was wandering and it was all over here and there, the meditation that we were doing today was a really important life lesson type meditation, in that the meditation that we were doing was I can't say it because I don't know how to say it, but it's basically sending love and compassion to yourself first, and then to a friend, and then to someone you know that's an acquaintance, and then to somebody that you don't get on so well with. And it was a really important thing. And also that, there's a lot of discussion about if we don't know what to do, we should do things for other people. And I don't mean this in the case, I think there are also people that give too much, that they don't give to themselves first, and then they become these empty pots and empty vessels. And actually often those people, I've noticed later on, become quite passive aggressive or bitter because they don't take for themselves first. And I think it's really important to give yourself compassion, give yourself love and light, and make sure that you fill that pot first, because that pot is your pot. And when that pot becomes empty, then I think it allows for things like bitterness and passive aggressiveness. Whereas when you fill it with stuff that's stuff for you, and looking after yourself and self-care, they're all kind of words that are quite new to language in the way of they weren't really socially wide, and it's nice that they are. Self-care is just, being aware if you're eating too much salt or sugar, or making sure you've got some time where you're just not on a screen and you're chilling and there's some nature and some exercise. So it's basically just life stuff, isn't it? But we often do things constantly that make us feel good, when sometimes we need to look after ourselves by doing things that aren't giving us immediate relief, but will eventually. Something I do for self-care, and it probably it's really simple. I change my sheets on my bed, and sometimes I change them more than they need to, just because they smell nice and they feel nice when they're all freshly put on, and that's a great self-care for me. I have a fan in my room as self-care, which I don't have in the winter, but I've just got down because I sleep with the windows open most of the year round, and in the summer it gets noisier later and noisier earlier because everybody else's windows are open, so I have the fan on for white noise so I can sleep well. And it's really important, as all of these self-fulfillments don't have to be massive things. They can be small things that just make us feel happier, or make us feel more content, because happiness, I think, can be overrated. don't not think it's important. I do, but you know, when we constantly fill our pots, our self-care pots with stuff that immediately gives us relief, then I think they can become a bit shallow really quickly. For me at the moment, also these music lessons that I'm doing are really amazing, but my fingers are really hurting. But that's good. I know that they need calluses on them. I'm really not enjoying learning chords, I have to say. I prefer learning fretwork and the different frets and strings. And I've got a mnemonic for the strings, which is Easter bunnies get dizzy at Easter, which is a great mnemonic, but actually it still doesn't help me remember it. I think I'm actually going to have to write them down somewhere. And put, you know, when I'm learning something, I put things on my fireplace, which is right in front of my bed. So I've got an immediate place that I look at. Yeah, I have no idea where this guitar playing is going to lead me, but I'm enjoying it right now, and that's all that matters. And actually, that is all that matters for loads of things, I think. I've been watching a lot less telly because of all these online gigs and Zoom parties and stuff like that. And I think maybe I need to take some time to read a bit more this weekend or the next few days, and just sort of shut off a little bit from things a little bit more than normal. I hope that you're all doing okay, as well as we all can. I hope that you're all keeping well, and that everybody is managing to get the things they need, meaning, you know, medication and shopping and bits like that, because that's all a bit weird, isn't it? The shopping thing is quite sort of, it's a little bit stressful in a way, and I still haven't gone to do a big shop because I don't want to, and I don't think I'm going to, actually. I think it's just going to, the dog, I was a bit stressed in the beginning about the dog and cat food, so I did an online order, and we've been getting our fruit and veg from Acoustic Fruit and Veg, which are great, and we did a big delivery the other day of like 20 kilograms of potatoes, which sounds a lot, but everybody eats loads of potatoes in this house, wedgies and jacket potatoes and mash, and you all know what potatoes to make from potatoes. I have been dipping out of WSO Isolation Fest today, which has been really cool. I'm looking forward to, I think Aoife Supertramp is on at 6 or 5 o'clock, and she's really good. She, I saw her, gosh, where did I see her? I saw her at the Windmill, I think, in 2015, maybe. She sings in Welsh and English, which is fascinating. I love the Welsh language. It for some reason makes me really giggle. And it's not because I find it funny, it's just I find it fascinating. And when I went to Wales last year a couple of times, I kept on taking pictures of the signs, and the signs just said things like ladies and gentlemen, because I thought it was funny. I must admit, I am a sucker for a Welsh or a Northern or a Scottish accent, because, yeah, I think it's Sean Connery that did it for me. Just Sean Connery. Who else? Rhys Ifans. Probably said his name really wrong because I'm terrible at accents. But yeah, so the rest of the day we've got my hammock chair out the loft, so I'm gonna go and listen to some more Isolation Fest in the hammock chair. Probably eat some Pringles, and I'm probably gonna make myself an amaretto sour, which is Di Serrano amaretto, or in my case the fake shit that I got from Sainsbury's or Tesco's or wherever it was at Christmas, with lemonade and lime cordial. And it just takes the edge off the sweetness and makes it into a tall cocktail drink, which is actually really, really nice. So part 17 tomorrow, which is really weird to think of. I might have a special guest tomorrow, but I might not. I can see who I can harass to do what when. What else did we do yesterday? I think we did some sword practice as well, and just generally potted about a bit, just sort of did bits here and there. It's hard to train, isn't it, at the moment? I was getting really into the swimming, which I'm really missing at the moment. But I guess there is lots of things to miss at the moment. I'm trying to not get caught up in the really missing things badly, because it can't be helped. and trying to count the blessings of the things that I have, because I think it's important to do both, but to finish on the blessings thing. So thank you for tuning in if you've watched, and stay safe, stay melee apart. I saw that as a meme a few days ago, and I shared it to my profile. It's like, if you are at melee length, so if you're too close for a sword to hit you, you're too close to the other person. And I really like that. So it's not 6 feet apart now, it's melee length. All right, you take care, guys. Let's have that outro song going out. Bye, guys. So bye. She doesn't give a shit, does she? Bye.